What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. We are picking up where we left off. Last video we did a radiator, motor mounts, car's running a tad bit cool. We'll have to figure that out later. But in this video we're going to be installing the injectors, the map sensor, and loading up the tune. We got to hook up the blow valve. I gotta plug the back of the manifold for the catch can because we don't want to put boost pressure into the PCV system. These are ID 1300s. This is the P-Tuning 4-bar map sensor. It's what they recommended. These are, I'll give you a close-up, the clips and pins, and these are the actual injectors. Kind of tiny. Like I said, they're 1300 cc. Most people run like the 1050. So these are technically 250 cc bigger. Not, you know, they're not a huge injector, so the car should still idle and drive, you know, fine. So first things first, we gotta pull the fuels cover off, and we have a yellow fuse here. Looks like it's a 20. We're gonna pull this one off here to, you know, basically kill the fuel pump. I'm gonna start the car up, make sure, you know, drains everything, cool it back down, pull off these little, I don't know, crash brace little shields on each side, swap the injectors. Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. I don't really see any major concerns outside of that stuff over there. It's just a bunch of wires and, you know, the Gero Just projects, flex fuel sensor, stuff like that. So we'll knock out this side first and swap out the map sensor and load up Zach's tune, and fingers crossed it idles and starts and runs good. I'll send him some files and you know, wait for him to give me a thumbs up. All right, now that we don't have any fuel, hopefully, in the lines, take a 12 millimeter. There's going to be 2 bolts on each side. I want to be able to get to those to take this little, I think it's like a crash brace or beam or something. I think that's what they call it. It's what covers the injectors and the fuel rail. Looks like there's one more right here. Hopefully I can get it with a wrench. Yep. Man, it is tight. I mean, it's not tight, it's just hard to get to. I can tell you this for sure. This bolt's not going back in, because I wouldn't even know how to start it. And man, if I didn't have a ratchet wrench, I'd be hating life right now. Alright, so in order to get to the actual bolts, I unbolted this, and then you can pull out, I believe this is the injector ECU, maybe for the direct injection. It still doesn't give me enough room to get to in here. I'll show you. I'll try to show you now. I can't get, they're so hard to even see. The bolts that I need to get to are right there, which the fuel rail's over that, and then this metal bracket is in the way. So I can't fit anything in there. I have to remove this, which they just slide in. So I'm going to disconnect the harness, which I believe I'm just going to stick a screwdriver here and lift up on this. And don't forget, disconnect your battery. So screwdriver in here. Alright. There's just gotta be a better way to have a good time, folks. Alright. Alright, now that that's out of the way, I still don't think I can fit anything in there. I can get to that one there, but this one, I'm gonna have to loosen up that bolt, and I think this bolt here, and then just enough to where I can fit a extension in there in a socket. Alright, that might give me enough clearance, we'll see. Alright, pulled the injector clips off. Alright, what size are these? 12. Alright. Oh boy. These bolts, but should come out pretty easy now. A little bit of fuel, but not a bunch. Really not even enough for me to grab a rack for. Now I just gotta pinch this harness. And there you go. These are what the, oh, come on, focus. There you go. Those are stock injectors. Now I believe there's, oh, well, there's a bunch of fuel. I believe there's like some kind of rubber bushing or whatever where this injector sits into. You're gonna have to remove that to insert the new ones. Alright, so this is, let me see if this thing will focus, the factory injector versus the 1300cc. I'm sorry, the ID 1300X. You can see it there, hopefully. But anyway, see how short this is, but how fat it is versus how long and skinny this is? Okay? There is these guys here that go in here. So when you pull the injectors, make sure the injector came out like this. Make sure you pull this fatter O-ring out. Alright, so now I'm gonna take, this came with the fuel pump. It's just called Super Lube. I'm just gonna lube up all the O-rings and shove them in there and bolt everything together. Also, I don't know how well it's gonna show up on camera, but there's a spray pattern. So there's a bunch of small little holes versus kind of just one big single hole. So don't forget, lube everything up around here. I already did this side. Got the new injectors in. Now we're gonna install them. And it might be hard to tell, but the left side has the O-ring in it and the right side does not. So I'm just gonna take a screwdriver and carefully remove that O-ring here. They actually went in there really easy. So now we're just gonna bolt the rail back down. Just making sure these are snug. Alright, pop in the, probably should have done this first. This fuel line. Once it's on, push it in all the way and then it should snap in. So don't move anywhere. We should be good. Alright, now I guess we can plug that back in there. I'm going to do that last. I'm going to take, these can only go in one way. So I'm going to plug in the top, which is snug. Alright, so it's hard to see. Make sure you push these things all the way in. They're kind of snug, but you want to make sure that this thing that locks in the injector clips back over it. And then now, plug in your new injector. Oh, I know it's kind of hard to hear, but it did snap in. Let me grab the other one. Now that we got that side installed, we're gonna basically do the same thing over here. There's a lot more. You might not have everything that I have because I'm using the Gerald Just Projects Flex Fuel. So there's a couple extra hoses here that you might not have. I pray there's only 2 bolts, one there and one there. Actually, you didn't need to remove the bar, just needed to remove the sensor off of here. This side looks maybe a little bit easier. Looks like the direct injection pump's right there. Hopefully that shouldn't cause us any issues. Same thing over there. Disconnect the fuel line. Take out the, I believe they're 12mm bolts. Disconnect this guy here and unplug the injectors. If you can, this side's going to be tough, but when you pull the injectors, pull up on the injectors themselves. Oh, well, one fell out, but alright, now we're going to drop the injectors back in. They go in pretty easy, almost a little too easy. I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but I just connected all the fuel lines. Just got to tighten this up. Now what I'm going to do, I gotta hook up the, I believe it's the ECU computer or driver. Connect the battery, hook up the map sensor, load up the tune, and hopefully it doesn't leak fuel. Now I'm just installing everything. Gonna hook up the battery. I'm not putting the little crash beams back in. I probably won't put them back in, especially right now for startup. I'm gonna prime it, start it up, let it run, make sure it doesn't leak, and you know, I don't know. I don't think I'm putting it back in. I'll just put that fuse back in there. We're gonna do the map sensor. Already lubed up the O-ring on it. Like I said, I believe this is the P tuning. This is the one they recommended. Disconnect it. Well, it just snapped in there. Put this back there, use the spacer for it. I'm just gonna go to, hopefully you can see this, but go to, I think, my files. We're gonna go to flash files, and boom, this is the one, hopefully you can see it, that we're gonna be uploading to the car now. Well, I just realized that the camera was recording in slow-mo, so I lost a bunch of footage. But anyway, we basically just put the fuse in, and the battery, started up the car, checked for leaks, 0 leaks, no issues. And now I'm basically just loading up the tune from Counterspace Garage. Well, sorry about all the footage that we lost, but we loaded up the tune. The car started up perfect. Like, the tune from Zach from Counterspace Garage was on point, at least to my knowledge. He basically wanted a startup, 10-15 minutes just idling, and then just some normal driving around. We logged the car, sent the file over. A couple days later, he sent me another log. Things were looking good. He said, give me a third gear pull up until, I think it was like 600 to 800 RPMs. And we did that. And third gear, around 30 miles an hour, probably 25 to 2750 RPMs. I just flat footed the car. I didn't roll into it, I just matted it, and it came on, like the turbo came online and just wasted the back tires. The car kicked out sideways. Kind of surprised me because I wasn't expecting the car to just break traction in third gear, and it happened so fast. I let out, tried to watch the boost gauge, couldn't because it was that fast. It kind of overwhelmed me. It was really awesome because the car's like extremely fast, but I'm like, this thing's gonna blow up. There's no way it can do that. Mind you, this is on a 7.25 spring, so half bar, and I have the AM boost gauge. I hit the peak, it said 13 psi, and I was like, okay, that's probably why. I'm not going to be running the car with that much boost. So came home, put the smallest spring in it, which was, I believe, a 4.5. Went out there, sent him another log, just third gear, and it runs really good. It didn't spin or anything. It just, it did what it had to do, and it's making right around 6 pounds of boost. So he sent me some other logs. He says, hey, looks good. I'm not seeing that big spike that you saw on the post spring change. He says I'm seeing around 6 psi. He says, you know, if you're happy with that, give me a 4th gear pull up to 7,400 RPMs. And I did a 3rd, 4th gear pull, and I'm still seeing the boost gauge go up to like 12, 13 psi. And the car is fast. And I don't know if the boost gauge is off, or like, you know, we need to really go with whatever the ECU sees. So he's only seeing around 6 pounds. I'm seeing way more than that. So you know, I don't know. I'm thinking, you know, did I not install the boost gauge correctly? He sent me, man, a long, massive email, pictures, the logs, and I don't have the greatest news, but I don't want to go over that in this video, because we could sit here and talk forever about it. That's why the car is kind of up in the air right now, because there's quite a bit we need to do. So I'm going to end the video here. Next video after this one, so hopefully a week from now, we're going to go over kind of the bad news and in hopes that I can fix it. So I hope this video helped you understand how to just, you know, throw in some injectors. I wish I could go over the loading up the tune with you a little bit better, but anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for next week, because I think there's a lot of information out, well, that's not out there, that probably should be out there, and I definitely feel, you know, that everyone needs to be aware of what's going on. So anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.